the agenda, council, the agenda is in front of you and was in the package. Any questions on the agenda, additions or deletions? Motion to accept the agenda as presented. Karen,
That the November 10th, 2025 agenda be adopted as presented.
thank you. Questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. So again, we've just gone through the agenda, looking to see if there's any declaration of conflict of interest. Seeing none, we'll move on to the draft meeting minutes from October 28th regular meeting. They were in your pre-meeting package. Any questions, errors noted on the minutes? Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Minutes of the regular meeting held on October 28th, 2025 be approved and circulated as presented.
Thank you. Questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Go down to the draft minutes from the special meeting of October 29th. Again, they were in your package. Oh, sorry. The public hearing minutes from October 28th. I missed that. Again, that was in your package. Any questions on those minutes? Motion, Tim?
That the minutes of the public hearing held on October 28th, 2025 be approved as circulated and presented.
Thank you. Questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. And again, the draft special council meeting minutes of October 29th. Those minutes? All in favor? Or sorry, motion?
I can do the
Nicole,
motion.
get a little fast
That the
there.
minutes of the special council meeting held on October 29th, 2025 be approved and circulated as presented.
Thank you. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, I should have mentioned at the first, we have two delegations here today. We have the team from the Regina Bypass to provide an update on the bypass. And our second is Jenna Hutton and Evan Hunchuk from Bright Communities Limited. So we'll go in order that they're on the agenda. So we could get the bypass to step up to the hot seat. And so Tony and Christopher?
Oh, Brad.
Brad? Okay.
Tony's at the back.
All right. Oh, is that, sorry, we didn't have a chair for you. Okay, yeah. All right. So I think we've done introductions before the last time you were here, so I don't think we need to go through unless you want us to go through.
Can start, yeah, exactly. The same team. Brad and I trying to operate and maintain the bypass. So we'll tell you what happened in the last since the last time we met and what we have in mind for the future. Any question, happy to answer. Anyway, you know where we are. So if you have any question after this meeting,
Yes.
be happy to bring you any information you need.
Okay.
Good morning. So summertime was very busy. If you guys were on the project, you guys saw we had a lot of traffic control on that. So works included crack sealing, line painting, bridge coating, asphalt repairs, mowing, vegetation maintenance. Everything we do is tracked in a program with maintenance activities and flags. So we opened 8,400 of those throughout the season from May until November. So a lot of action. And in there, we did 630 traffic setups for works. So heavy presence all year. Nothing really major in there. Winter maintenance now, we're all set and prepped. Equipment's ready. Salt and sand stocked. Employees trained. So ready for winter if winter does show up. We hope it doesn't, but probably will some way. So that basically sums up our summer and kind of our prep for our winter. So if any questions from anyone, we'd be happy to answer.
Yeah. Well, personally, it was really nice to see fixing at the overpass, the exit from the overpass there. That was quite a bounce. So it was, the crew did a good job getting that fixed.
Thank you.
Questions from, comments from council?
I always have that, the going out for the overpass there before you merge on. It goes from 80 to 70, then to 110. And it's always, I take that on a regular basis. It's always this game that people play and they're doing 90, they're trying to cut in front. Is there any traffic calming things that you can do around that?
That's we talk about this question so many times. You know, it works. Usually we have a technical design that tells us what kind of sign we have to put, etc. Of course, police and RCMP, they have their word. Ministry of Highways also, our main client, they tell us what to do. So what we can bring in that project is questions, suggestions, but we are more the doers than the deciders actually. So we can bring this concern as we do after all the meeting we have with you people in such RMs and cities. But keep in mind that anyway, it's not because we want it that it will happen, unfortunately. So these signs we can ask, but if there was a good reason because it's a technical design or technical standard in Saskatchewan, I'm afraid I'd like to be nice, but nothing much we can do. And when it comes to behavior of drivers, we need RCMP. There are so many places where people are playing stupid games, and fortunately.
So I guess I'll ask the question perhaps a different way. If you were in charge, what would you guys do differently on that overpass?
In terms of, for this, for example, for the ramps and things, I guess we would probably do a study on what happens. That's usually what you do. It's you observe the situation over a long time. Of course you see if there are events, accidents, etc., and then you come to a conclusion. But if there is some technical standards, very difficult to deviate from standards. Very, very difficult. If you have some room where you can play, you can try. But if the standards say it's this sign, then 200 meters after is this sign, and then 200 meters is this sign, not much we can do.
I don't know if this is in your jurisdiction with the bypass, but there's the intersection with, I think it's Gregory Avenue and that 48. It's by the White City entrance there, and it's the overpass. And it always gets backed up when people are trying to turn there. What's the plan for that? And I don't know, that might not be in your jurisdiction because it's like it's needing lights, but then lights would back the stuff up on number one. So a roundabout or something like that. I see the traffic increasing there, especially during, rush hour.
Do you know what they're talking?
Yeah, it is.
Just on the lights, yeah.
Yeah. Again, the good point you mentioned is the increase of traffic, because what was before, because there was not so much traffic, can change over time. If there is a big change in the area, more traffic is a change. So we can bring this to the Ministry of Highway and see what they have in mind. But I would say be patient. It won't come tomorrow. Okay, so I prefer to be honest with you. That's a good suggestion, but again, you need some observation, some group to meet, some check of standards, and yes, it can happen. If traffic increase is one of the elements that lead to a change in design. True yesterday won't be true tomorrow.
Yeah, that intersection is hard. It's hard to cross the road over there. Oh.
Other questions for our delegation? Darren?
So I'm not sure if you have any plans for over by the co-op for the lights on top of the Pilot Butte bypass or overpass. Just because I was sitting at that light personally, and one semi and two cars got through on one light, and it was backed up, and that's just beginning. So I'm not sure if you have any plans for that.
Yeah, it would kind of be similar to the other areas where we'll monitor the traffic. The Ministry of Highway puts out traffic counters. So as that area develops more, the lights will probably have to change to fit the added traffic. So as of now, no changes yet, but as the traffic builds as it is, like you said, it'll start to change.
Every year we have accounts made where they check on camera what is the traffic demand from each direction. And based on this traffic demand from each direction, we can adjust the timing of green light, green red light sequence. And as what said, depending on type of traffic, heavy trucks versus light vehicles, different of course, they can adjust the timing. But it's done every year.
With
So we can
that roundabout that is just before that, and you're gonna have an increase of semi-traffic and
Probably,
everything there.
yeah.
There has to be a better plan than
Yeah.
what it is, because it's true. You get maybe one semi through a light and
Yeah.
that's it. You
So
know?
that would most probably lead to at least the question raised, like, what do we do in terms of setting? But for the moment, it's what was done now, because it was done this fall. Looks that it's okay for the situation where for the traffic we have composition and number. But of course, next year, more trucks will probably significantly change the situation.
Because I know I was one of the persons that went on a drive-through with the developer that was making that roundabout, and he said that they had a plan for those lights, and I'm hoping that it's not going to fall on deaf ears, because it is challenging there, and then you have people running red lights because they just don't want to wait. You know, unfortunately, and you know, it's unfortunate, but there is going to be some serious accidents there then too.
Just keep in mind that every year we check the situation. Every year we check the traffic and we adapt.
Any other questions, comments? I guess that's everything. It was an easy one for you today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is Jenna Hutton and Evan Hunchak. We'll do a round of introductions. Carmen, we'll start with you.
Carmen Lible, Division 1 Counselor.
Dan Kapner's Division 2 Counselor.
Nicole Posehn, Division 3.
L. Trainer Reeve.
Karen Zahari, Administrator.
Stephen Warner, Division 5.
Tim Brote, Division 6.
Darren Besbaraco, Division 7.
Lee Chambers Communications.
Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry, Paige. I forgot you and Clark over there in the corner.
We'll just stay there. Manager of Planning and Development, Paige Boha.
Clark Gates, Manager, Engineering, Public Works.
It's Monday, so I'm not used to council meetings on Monday. Okay, please proceed.
Hey, thank you. Good morning. My name is Evan Hunchak. With me is Jenna Hutton, my colleague. We're here representing Bright Communities today. I reside in Regina and Jenna lives in Edmonton. We're here today to discuss our requested boundary alteration agreement that would bring approximately 504 acres of land within the RM of Edenwold into the town of White City. And we have a presentation to walk you through today, so we can go to the next slide. Our team brings a wealth of experience in engineering, urban planning, financial management. Combined, we have I guess, just over 50 years of experience and have developed very significant portions of Regina as well as other areas in southern Saskatchewan and Alberta. Next slide. At Bright Communities, our philosophy is centered around 3 guiding values: community connection, eco-resilience, and holistic well-being. We design places that encourage interaction, where people know their neighbors, and community pride is built into every street and park. We're deeply committed to sustainability, from biodiversity and natural landscapes to efficient energy use and low impact infrastructure. Health and happiness are at the forefront, and we emphasize walkability, clean air, water, and access to safe, active spaces. These aren't just design principles, they're the foundation of our long-term stewardship model. On the next slide, you'll see the area here where we're speaking about today on the eastern edge of White City. This proposed boundary adjustment aligns with both the town and the ARM official community plans, as well as the joint growth strategy that both municipalities have adopted that identifies the future area of White City's growth to the east. We don't know exactly the phasing, but this is what we believe how it would phase over maybe the next 20 years or so. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, you can see there on the map. Following slide identifies the official community plans for the RM as well as the town. As you can see on both these images here, it has a unified vision for these lands, how they would evolve over time. On the RM of Edenwold's official community plan, the subject lands are designated for residential development in the future. At the same time, the town of White City is also undertaking a comprehensive review of its official community plan as well. This would show the draft OCP on the right side. That would also show that these lands would be future urban residential. We believe this alignment is important as it means both municipalities have identified this area for the same type of growth. In other words, the proposed boundary alteration doesn't represent a change in direction, but rather the next logical step. This map here identifies the 504 acres that would be proposed to be brought into the town of White City. This includes a 10.5 acre parcel, which we can speak to a little bit later. But the reason for that 10.5 acre parcel is specific for an entrance, fifth entry point into the development. Our vision for the Meadows is a vibrant, connected, and sustainable residential neighborhood rooted with a live-in nature concept. The design emphasized naturalized open spaces, pedestrian networks, and pocket parks that support daily life. This approach creates a true sense of place, not just housing, but a community that grows organically and harmoniously with the character of the existing neighborhood. By way of example, Lake Ridge or Wascana View in Regina or the Willows in Saskatoon would be something that we're trying to emulate. Guiding principles. Number 1, put people first. So designing a walkable human scale neighborhood with connected parks and destinations. Number 2, maintain compatibility. So complementing existing neighborhoods through single family and some luxury townhomes. There won't be any high density. There will be no purpose-built rentals. There will be nothing taller than 2 stories in height. Additionally, we will only have single family development around any perimeter as it relates to adjacent acreage owners. Number 3, celebrate nature, preserving and enhancing natural features like the creek and the pond as community defining spaces. That will be working with Ducks Unlimited to naturalize those. Number 4, support everyday needs, providing local convenience. If there's demand, we may have in the future more than a decade probably from now, but maybe like a grocery store or some local commercial type uses. Number 5, build community spaces, provide opportunity for a new elementary and high school as well as community center if there's need for that. Number 6, design smart transportation, safe, efficient connections for all modes, walking, biking, and driving. And Councillor Liable, we can talk about that intersection that you asked previously about. Number 7, design reliable infrastructure connecting to municipal water and sewer. So there is no wells or septic fields will be extending the town's water system as well as accessing your wastewater treatment plant directly. And number 8, creating lasting character. We'll have high architectural and landscaping standards with development controls that we would regulate. On the following slide, here's some questions that we heard previously to the open house, but we'd be happy to speak to the open house feedback that we attended last Thursday evening as well. On timing, the boundary alteration is led by us as the developers of this land, as we have these lands under agreement to purchase. This aligns with both the town and the RM policy frameworks, as well as the growth strategy previously agreed to by both municipalities, which would allow this land for the town to expand to for residential growth. Regarding private property, we heard questions from the residents on how this alteration will impact their properties. In short, RM residents remain in the RM and the RM's jurisdiction, and we will continue to consult with them throughout all of our planning applications and zoning applications in the future, regardless of what municipality you reside in. It doesn't matter whether you're in the town or the RM. We would continue to consult with everyone. Regarding density, we understand there's a strong desire from town and RM residents to maintain existing community character. We're planning a low-density, family-oriented neighborhood. There won't be any high-rise or high-density uses. There won't be any purpose-built rentals. There will be nothing taller than 2 stories, as we've spoken about. Our vision for this development is to focus on single-family homes, and we would like to maybe have some complementary 2-story townhomes around a school site that we're planning for. Aside from that, that's all the housing that would be provided in that neighborhood. We do feel that some townhomes are required for whether it's younger people starting out, whether it's parents who separate and want to stay in the community and they can't afford 2 single-family homes, whether it's elderly people that are looking to downsize and have a bungalow attached house that's smaller and they don't want to look after a large yard anymore. Further, we understand there's specific questions about what would be constructed adjacent to the properties. Like we said, we can assure council and those residents that density will be thoughtfully planned. There will only be single family, large lot single family adjacent to the acreage owners. And I suppose you have to trust us on that, but we're going on record that that's what we're going to do, and everyone can hold us accountable to that. Regarding aquifer and wells, all lots will be connected to the municipal water and wastewater system. We won't be accessing the aquifer for wells, nor will we be putting any wastewater into the ground. We were working with engineers, environmental experts, geotechnical investigations, environmental reports. Everything will be done to protect the aquifer, no different than any development would. Regarding traffic, this is one of the more significant concerns we've heard, specifically as it relates to impacts on Deneuve Drive. Our intent is to manage the transportation as well as we can, and to try to maintain Deneuve Drive as a dead-end road. With that 10.5 acre parcel, which we'll speak to in a little bit greater detail, that is why we're asking for that one to be included, so that we can have another access point there versus Deneuve Drive being a thoroughfare into this area. We're also working with the Ministry of Highways as it relates to our primary access point on Highway 48 that would allow for the main entrance into this area, as well as upgrades at Gregory and Highway 48 as well. Here we'll show the access points. What this looks like is, I guess, Councillor Liable, to your first question there. Ministry of Highways is already aware that that intersection is failing, and they have 50% design already completed with Stantec for traffic signals. Based on our application, we may pass beyond the traffic signals and go straight to a roundabout. Roundabout's about a $4 million cost, but that might be something that would happen sooner than later because of this development, but also because of existing conditions as it relates to traffic there. So the ministry is well aware of that. We are working with KGS as a on our transportation impact assessment. We have identified 5 entry points, the main being Highway 48 that would have traffic signals and additional lanes added to the highway there. That would be the primary access point. The secondary access point you can see in the northwest is off of Gregory. And then we have some secondary accesses in orange, the orange stars. So the green stars are the primary access points. The orange stars are the secondary access points. As I said, that 10.5 acre parcel specifically, we need 5 access points at a minimum in order to allow for proper access and egress out of the neighborhood, as well as safety standards. There is you can kind of see in the lower left corner there, the Transgas pipeline that bisects the community that effectively cuts this land in half as it travels from that orange star in the southwest to that orange star in the northeast, just on the south side of that. And in case there was an emergency and you had a pipeline that ruptured or whatnot, you need a minimum 2 access points on each side of the pipeline. So right now on the south side of the pipeline, we have the minimum 2 access points. Without that 10.5 acre parcel, the other option would be we would need Denev Drive to be a thoroughfare. So in response to concerns from the public, we tried to improve it as much as we could, and we were looking to try to maintain that Denev Drive as a dead-end road, I guess is why we're including that 10.5 acre parcel as a part of our revised application. Last here on the timeline slide, you can see the boundary alterations. The first formal step, it's number 2 there throughout the whole project timeline. We will be, if we are able to successfully have the boundary alteration dealt with, we would then be working on a comprehensive development plan. This plan would identify the road network, the park layout, densities, you know, like I said, with single family identified where it is. We haven't submitted that at this time to the town. We're still starting to work on that, but we will have future public engagement. We'll have an open house in January or February to review that concept plan. Following that, there will be zoning applications, you know, this year and every year going forward. Those would be public as well through open houses and public consultations. So there's much opportunity for the public to provide their feedback based on our plans going forward. That being said, in conclusion, we believe the Meadows represents more than just a new neighborhood. It's a continuation of growth and also a collaboration that's identified this region for long-term residential growth. This boundary isn't a leap into the unknown. It's a natural and carefully considered step that builds upon years of collaboration between the town and the RM. By supporting this request, again, today here, we're just for information. There isn't any formal decision we're asking from you. We just wanted to provide you some information and answer any questions. But we believe that this would be a thoughtful and orderly transition on these lands already envisioned for residential use. We see this opportunity to demonstrate what thoughtful community building looks like in practice, protecting natural environment, integrating efficient and sustainable servicing, and carrying forward the established character that makes this one of the most desirable places to live in Saskatchewan. The Meadows will be a reflection of these values, and stand as a benchmark. I think to be fully clear, if we're able to execute even on a fraction of our vision, we do believe this may be one of the nicest communities in all of Saskatchewan. That being said, we would love to answer any questions. If you have questions from us, please ask.
Just from feedback from RM ratepayers and Town of White City, are you guys, would you consider taking the townhouses out?
Thank you for that question. Through the chair, I suppose anything is possible if the townhomes are that much of a concern, but like honestly, the townhomes we don't see to cause a a breakdown in community character. A brand new townhome starts at $400,000 to $500,000 starting price. So you are already eliminating probably 75% or more of the population to even be able to afford that type of housing. There isn't going to be any form of rental. Again, it's just when we're trying to thoughtfully plan a neighborhood, and you have school sites that we're going to be making a presentation to the school board on Wednesday. An elementary school site generates a fair amount of traffic, and so usually, in my experience, single family home immediately adjacent to a school site is not necessarily the most desirable, especially with single family homes now starting, close to $750,000 is the minimum price to more than $1 million. People are looking to have, make a good investment, I suppose. So we do think that there is a lack of housing for more affordable options within this community of White City and Emerald Park, and a townhouse is a matter of in order to I guess achieve that type of need in the community. So if it wasn't a townhouse, maybe it's a smaller single family house, but I think we do need to figure out a way to allow for some houses worth roughly $500,000.
It's just some of the feedback that I've been hearing is because there's already a couple hundred of them going in, townhouses in White City. So that was something that I've been getting calls about. And also, what developments in Regina what did you all develop in Regina?
Sorry, what was that question?
What developments were you involved with in Regina?
Okay, yeah, thank you for that question through the chair. Jen and I have worked on quite a few developments in Regina. I had over a 10-year tenureship at a company called Dream, and before that it was called Dundee. And before that I worked at a company called UMA and AECOM Engineering. I helped Ben Kuzmic develop many phases out here in White City and Emerald Park close to 20 years ago. Following that, I worked on the Lake Ridge and the Lake Ridge Addition communities, tail ends of Wascana View, Harbor Landing, pretty much from its start to its end, Eastbrook, Riverbend, portions of the creeks. So quite a few neighborhoods, and that's just Regina. That's not, other communities. So
If all three phases go ahead, how many houses are you looking at then total?
I think what we would be targeting would be close to just around or slightly under 3,000 homes. It is a large area. It's 500 acres. That area itself would add a school population in our estimation of about 800 more elementary kids and 400 high school kids. That's at 10 and 5% of the population is what we use with planning in Regina. That said, when we had some preliminary conversations with the school board, I guess statistically it's closer to 20% of the household is elementary students, so maybe it's closer to 1,600 kids. I guess we'll have that conversation more on Wednesday, but yeah.
Have you had any discussions with the town about sewer capabilities being a concern with the allotment available?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Through the chair, we are just starting to study the water and wastewater network, but we don't believe that that's going to be a constraint. We're working out the details right now, but we believe we'd be accessing the town's water system all the way back to nearly where their town hall is, and extending brand new water mains 400 millimeters in size to create a loop. So with this development, if it was to go forward, we'd actually improve the water pressure on the east side of town with larger water mains that don't presently exist. And then as it relates to the wastewater system, we're not impacting the town as well, or the RM, We would be collecting the sewage in our own local sewer network that we would be constructing, and we'd have 2 lift stations within the area that we would be pumping the sewage directly to the wastewater treatment plant. So from what we understand, that the plant would have capacity, and especially if it's permitted to discharge 4 seasons, from what we understand, Clark would know better, but we believe that there's capacity for about 15,000 residents. And then if that's expanded to 4 season discharge, then that would presumably maybe double or more than that. So you have been very intelligent in the last, several years in putting forward your infrastructure demands. You're further ahead. The city of Regina's battling this right now with infrastructure, specifically the wastewater system. And so like in the city of Regina, as an example, they have a federal application with the province to try to advance the Coopertown lift station in the northwest, and an $80 million ask for lift stations and trunk sewers, because for all intents and purposes, the capacity within the city is used up everywhere. That's why we feel that White City and Emerald Park is going to start to see some significant growth that you haven't experienced, specifically because of the wastewater moratorium over the last 5 years. We think your growth rate in White City and Emerald Park is going to be higher than it's ever been.
You have other questions?
I
Karen?
do.
Oh,
I got a question about, Evan, about that small triangle piece, that 10.5 acres. I've heard from a lot of ratepayers regarding that piece. And it's basically affecting, it's the effect that it's going to have on their way of life and where they live. And traffic probably would be the biggest, which it will be. I mean, if that development's going to have 3,000 people at full build out, there will be substantial traffic there. Are there any other options, or, if there is enough pushback on this, is there other options other than annexing that piece that goes into that subdivision?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Through the chair, I would just start I grew up on a farm northwest of Saskatoon. My parents still live there. My youngest brother farms. I attended K-12 school in a town called Borden. I was one of 6 kids in my graduating class, so I understand what it's like to be in a small town and how you know all your neighbors and you wave when you're driving down the road and whatnot. It's scary for the local residents because they don't know who I am or Jenna, and they don't have trust in us. And all I can say to that is, this will come with time, and I can't ask for their trust instantly. It will be developed over time. But at the open house, I personally gave out my business card, probably close to 100 people. I will sit down and have a call
The time is 10:15. We'll call the meeting back to order. And Clark, you're up with the engineering report.
Thank you. We'll start with our summary over the last couple of weeks. So in the rural, we've mostly, again, we've got our full cut and top cut completed. So all our mowing's done. Just finished up whatever spot graveling we had left. So that's done as well, and just prepping for winter. We did do some grading project up in Rock Point. So this was internal to the subdivision. We improved the drainage along 2 of the roadways. So hopefully that kind of solves some localized ponding issues for 2 of the residents. We also did some shingle work last week. So we brought in a few loads to 624 North to those existing spots as well. We delivered some to the area behind Kish Mall. So we will be kind of putting those in as well. Councillor Bezbaraco, I did follow up on the drainage in that back corner of the Kish Mall. There is a culvert in there. It was just completely overgrown. So we're getting that uncovered and cleared out.
Perfect, thank
Yeah.
you.
Completely just like grass right over top of it. Yeah, almost
Right,
tripped
that-
over it.
Probably why I couldn't see it.
And like you said, it makes sense. Like everything drains to that corner and
Yeah.
then doesn't go anywhere. But yeah, there's a reason it doesn't go anywhere.
Great, thanks.
As well in the rural, finished up all of the missing sign, like the sign installations in terms of traffic signs that had been on the list to do before winter here. So those are complete. In the urban, we're still undergoing culvert clearing in advance of winter here. Now that we're getting some sustained freezing temperatures, we're going to finish off our mulching program. So getting the foxtails and stuff cleared out of some of our ditches that have those standing so that we can, again, clear some of those ditches and culverts out prior to winter. And then on the water and sewer front, the water treatment plant card readers replaced, up and running again, and still working with Copper Sands on the water meter there. They're looking at relocating it now into the existing building that's out there. So we're just confirming meter sizing and water sizing with their engineer to kind of make that change so that meter is better protected moving into winter.
Are we charging them for water if there's no water meter on there?
I'd have to ask. I think we could do it manually through the front office when the card reader was down, based on truck size or tank size, that kind of thing.
No, at Copper Sands.
Oh, at Copper Sands.
Yeah.
I'll have to check with Jason and Jessica. I think we were just using previous water usage for those kind of timeframes.
Questions for Clark on the,
You have a cost of what the shingles cost us?
I don't have it not with me right now, but I can follow up and provide that for you.
motion to accept the Public Works report as presented? Tim?
I make a motion that we accept the Public Works report as presented.
Thank you. Questions on the motion? All in favor? Motion is carried.
Perfect. We normally do the water report first meeting of the month, but both our operators, Rod and Jason, were away at SWA last week, so they were up in Saskatoon the majority of the week. So we'll just present that report at the next council meeting.
Okay.
I guess, and for council's information, Tom, our lead operator in the urban shop, successfully completed his level 2 certifications for water and wastewater. So we have 2 fully certified level 2 operators for our systems, as well as Rod providing level 1 certification for it. So
That's great.
We have full backup on what we need for certifications for our water treatment plant.
Perfect.
Yep. Okay, we'll move to the next report. So this is just a report for information, not requesting a decision, but just providing information to council on how we're looking to finish off the civic addressing sign project. In general, we have about 100 signs left. We are still finalizing exactly which signs are left and where. There's still some signs to be purchased from ATS, so we will have one final kind of shipment coming. But in the meantime, we want to make sure that the residents have communication to them as to what's happening, because if we don't reach out, they will be phoning us to ask when their sign is coming. So in general, the plan is going to be allow those residents to install it themselves in the meantime. If they want to come and pick up their hardware and their sign, we'll give them some information on where it can be installed and how, so they would just be kind of responsible for it. We would go and check it later, but in general, we would just allow them to do it, just so they don't have to wait until 2026 until we kind of hire somebody else to get the work done. But we will be looking for a 2026 budget item to hire another contractor to complete the installation. We have approximately 100 signs left. So it's a bit too much work for our department to take on internally. But following those 100, we would look at any new signs that come in after that, our department would be able to take on an annual basis, because I wouldn't expect it to be more than 10 or 12 signs a year, kind of something to augment the rest of the signs that we're replacing as they get knocked out by snowplow machines. But that being said, we would be looking to hire a contractor that has extensive experience installing these signs, someone who's used to the process a bit more and has a proven track record of it. So there were some companies that put in quotes the last time we tendered this out. So we'll be reaching out to them kind of individually for a request for quote for the remaining signs.
I'd like a little discussion on the issue of having homeowners installing their own signs. I personally have some grave concerns on that, because we're going to run into where they're not installed either correctly or in the right place, and then getting a bill from them for installing.
Yeah, we would for sure make it clear that we wouldn't be providing any compensation for that work. And I think as long as we give them like the proper guidelines as to, like, the real risk is they put it way too close to the shoulder, or they put it somewhere where it's kind of obscured and can't be seen. There is the risk that it wouldn't be installed properly, and after that fact, we would have to decide what we want to do as a municipality to rectify that. So that would be one kind of risk of allowing self-installation.
What about the locates though?
Yeah, so they would be responsible for their own locates, and we would step them through that process. Here's the number you call. This is what information you have to give them, and then, you know, they would be the ones responsible for that.
How easy is it to put in the winter though, too?
Yeah, in the winter, like depending on how much frost is in the ground, this would be more of a November, maybe into December kind of thing, and if not, then yeah, you're looking at
So they might as well
potentially bending your post if you're using a post pattern to get it
They
in.
might as well just wait then. I know what you're saying with people don't want to wait for stuff, but I mean, it's just we live in Saskatchewan, and the ground already has some frost in it already, so.
When would you be looking at getting this information out to them?
I would say because we did have that information available, like when we reached out for a request for quote as to how they should be installed. So it would be pretty quick and easy to get a package together. We're just finalizing again which addresses are remaining for that. So I'm assuming we'll have that by the end of this week. So we'd be looking to reach out next week with that information.
Realistically, then that would be like, from a timing perspective, I'm just looking at the calendar here. Darren, like if we get something out to them next week, the week of the 17th, we're already into them potentially doing anything the last or first week of December. They're really realistically not going to do it. No one wants to freeze doing that.
Right. And then they would have the opportunity, I guess, to put it in themselves in the spring as well, depending on when we can get a contractor and they can get lined up and we can get those kind of batch of locates done and get somebody out and there. It just gives them a little bit more self-control over, you know, when they're available to do it and conditions exist for them to do it, that, you know, they can still kind of go forward with it. But again, there's the risk of improper placement.
I would imagine the majority of the signs left over are probably in my division or Stevens.
Yeah, there's quite a few on the North Service Road. Yeah, but yeah, again, there was the north two, I think, are where there's still quite a few left to be done. So yeah, I would say 1 as well as 6 and 7. 5. Oh yeah, 7's there.
So with the signs, like, is there any reason the landowner, if a lot of them have driveway posts already? Is there any reason why they can't just put the sign on their posts as what they got?
I don't have a big reason why not, as long as it's, typically in the right spot. If there's already an encumbrance there that we're mowing around anyways, and it's in a visible spot that, as an emergency vehicle is driving down, it's in a kind of a consistent area or a consistent spot that they can recognize, then yeah, I would have no problem with that.
That's kind of where I'm looking at too, that if you've got somebody that, look, I really want to have my sign out there. So, okay, you can put it out, and with the agreement, I guess that if we find it's not perfectly in the right spot, that we will be, when we get a contractor, we will be putting it in the right spot then too. But at least they wanted to put up a sign, especially if they have somebody in the household that is a little bit sickly or whatever. You want to make sure that you can get them out.
Yeah, we have had people contact us saying like this is for them time sensitive, like they're at risk right now, so they'd like to get it in as soon as possible. So. And I guess moving forward too, there could be people that take their existing sign out and put it in another spot too. And so like we could be dealing this whether we install it in the right spot or didn't. So we just need to have like a policy in place as to say, or, some sort of, I guess, process to say, if we find it's in a bad spot and we need it moved, like it's within our right of way, so we have the ability to do it, but let's make sure like there's a reason why, and then kind of execute and go through with, replacing and moving a sign.
I guess I hear what you're saying now. But I'm also conscious of we're now moving on to year 3 of this, and even at the open house the other night, there was a ratepayer that was kind of disturbed about it. So if we can make it very clear in terms of the information that goes to them, that this is the process, this is what the expectations, and we have the right to move it, I think that's a good idea.
If you've got a proper fence setback, like I know at my place, they're very close together, the post and my post. If we make it clear that they can use that, then you don't have to worry about the line locates either. So.
I guess I worry too much.
No, it's what we do here is we talk about the positives and negatives, and is the risk outweighed by the value. So
I just think it's going to end up as a hodgepodge.
We're not talking about a whole bunch of people though either. It's 100 signs you had said, and like I say, divided up between yours and mine, and a few in the other one. I don't see it being a big problem, and it'll alleviate some of the people that, well, geez, I don't get nothing from my tax dollars. Well, here you go. We ran into trouble with that our we didn't have our person that was doing it couldn't do this other part of it. So yeah, if you want to wait till the new year, then we'll try to do something with it. But in the meantime, if you want to come and put it up on your own post or whatever, then we can make that happen too. So. Like I say, it has to be spelled out fairly clearly, and I would recommend getting Lee to get some kind of a thing out fairly quick then too, so that if somebody wants to get a locate done and do it whenever before the frost is too much, it might be an idea.
Okay.
Good. That's all I got.
We don't need a motion for that. No. Okay. Paige, you're up.
Thank you. First report is for bylaw 2025-23. this bylaw is to amend the planning and development fee bylaw. And we're asking for first reading on this bylaw. A little bit of background. So in our planning and development fee bylaw, we list all of our application fee costs. So like development permits, rezoning applications. And the thing that we're discussing today is the cost of advertising. So we have to advertise for any rezoning application and any discretionary use application in the local newspaper, and we send out letters to a specific radius. Well, when the mail strike was on, there was no flexibility for that. So in order for us to proceed through another mail strike, we've added some revisions to this section of the planning and development fee bylaw. And that would allow the RM to charge the actual cost of any letter sent by private courier and to charge a per hour fee for letters if we deliver them by hand. Now, I want to just emphasize that the decision to proceed with an application would be the decision of the applicant. So if they want to wait for the strike to be over for a lower cost, absolutely the RM can do that. But if they wanted to proceed and if time was of the essence and we had to send out courier letters to all the properties, or we needed to hand deliver it if it was in Emerald Park area, then at least we could recoup those costs. Because right now, how the bylaw is written, we are unable to recoup those costs.
Discussion? Yes.
I can make the motion. That council gives bylaw 2025-23 a bylaw to amend bylaw 2019-07, planning and development fee bylaw, first reading, and that we authorize the planning department to proceed with the public notification requirements and schedule a public hearing.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion?
Given that we've had 2 mail strikes in the last period of time, I think this is a good move.
By the
Yep,
looks of it, we've, it was 2019, the last time we updated this. So, yeah, I think we're in need of it.
Nicole?
Yeah, I agree as well. The RM staff, when they go out and hand deliver though, I think that it's probably I would suggest that they just don't give opinions about what they're handing out, just give the letters. So I had a couple of ratepayers say that when they were out giving the letters for the last public hearing, ratepayers were asking questions and they were basically, well, the one person said that they asked, why this was happening, and the response from whoever was delivering the letter was that there's a need for it in the community, and just no opinions, just handing out the letters because
Yeah.
they were offended.
Yeah, I'd like to clarify. So that person was actually myself, and I didn't give any opinions. I gave information and facts, and I believe I touched base with Reeve after I talked to some people out there who were asking maybe some questions about when and who and why and what the ability of council was and if the community could vote it down and things like that. So I was giving a technical background. It's not my spot to put on a political opinion of council. It's not my responsibility to speak on behalf of council, just the technical aspect. So just answering questions from the public though is really important. So if we're handing a letter and someone asks us a question and we can't answer it, it's not really good communication in between administration and staff. It's nothing, no different than a phone call coming into the office. It's just face to face. And a lot of people were like, I don't want to say chasing us down the road, but we'd put the letter and then they'd read it and then they would kind of run after us to get some more information. And we didn't want to, leave answered.
No, I totally understand that, but I did get a call saying that they were, whoever was delivering the letters said that there was a need for it. And so they just felt like whoever was delivering the letters was selling the development. And like I said, I wasn't there. I have no idea. That's just what I was told in a phone call. So.
Other comments, questions? Okay, no. Call the question. All in favor of the motion? Motion is carried.
Thank you. Moving along to discretionary use application for a residential daycare at 14 Park Bay in Emerald Park. This application had a public hearing last council meeting, and there was, give me a second. We had 2 written submissions. One was for and one was against. What we've been trying to do for council is having that 2-week buffer for discretionary use to a decision, just so council has enough time to consider the written submissions, think of any conditions that they potentially want to put on the development permit, and it's not, so you're not sitting there listening and then having to make that decision right away. So this application for the public hearing, like I said, was last council meeting, and now we're bringing it forward for a decision. We are recommending approval with conditions. The conditions listed on the approval are from the zoning bylaw, from the specific section 5.7 for residential daycares.
For motions we can discuss? You don't have to read the whole thing, Tim.
Okay, then I'll make it. Subject to the public hearing that the discretionary use application to allow residential daycare at 14 Park Bay, Emerald Park be approved with the following conditions, 1 through 9.
I have a question. One of the concerns that they had was that these people don't have a fenced yard. I noticed that, there's a requirement for a certain amount of fencing per child. Who's going to go out and check that to make sure that it is done?
Yep, so we can go out. It's kind of interesting. In our zoning bylaw, the definition for fence isn't what you think, like the fence in the dog park. It's actually just a barrier, what's like a freestanding wall could fall under the definition. So it's not a metal fence. This application actually has some very large concrete blocks that are stacked around their playground, and then fence kind of on the other side. So it's not fully fence in the term of a metal fence, but fence in the term of our zoning bylaw. So we can go out and just do a site visit to make sure that it's still there through the pictures. But it would be the development officer's responsibility to go out and check those permit conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The one picture I'd seen, it was just trees and stuff, and they were using that as a buffer. That's not considered a fence, so correct?
I don't think so. I'd have to double check on that one, but there is like a shed, fence, and then 2 sides of a wall as well. So they might just need to put in a little bit of new fencing, but the majority of it is already existing.
So Paige, that just lost it. The Child Care Act and the Child Care regulations, would they trump ours? Like in those regulations, is there something about fencing?
I think they just talk about outdoor play space.
And not that it would have to be fenced or anything.
I'd have to double check.
Yeah.
I'd have to double check. So the provincial government has already given them a permit. So the provincial government has reviewed all their site and what they're proposing to do and what's existing, and they have issued a permit.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would meet their regulations. Yeah.
I believe we can always go over and above the provincial regulations, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Other discussion?
So
Darren.
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, in the one picture, I can see a fence in the back, but the other one with all the trees, I can't. So so we don't know if there's fence behind the trees, because you all know that kids will go in behind the trees and play and don't need them escaping.
Yeah, the daycare operator's responsibility is to ensure that they keep count of the kids. I know kids run away. I have a little runner myself. But if you look on the site plan, Darren, so the last attachment there, you can kind of see, yeah, that one. Yeah, it kind of outlines it there. So you see where there's the northwest corner of the playground area, there's trees there, and then the wall stops. That's where kind of it's missing that connection piece where I spoke to earlier. Yeah.
So one of the concerns I think that was raised, it was in terms of the noise. But when I looked at where they're located, they're basically right next to the highway, are they not? Like they're within a very short, so I would think the noise from the highway would be more concerning.
Yeah, it would probably be louder. I think if I'm remembering the spot correctly, Cusick Park's pretty close too. There would be probably kids playing there. Yeah, it's hard to address noise from kids and if it's a nuisance, like where that level of nuisance is, I'm not sure. Personal opinion, maybe?
Arguably, I could have 8 children myself and yeah, okay, thanks.
The Aspen Links daycare, the noise travels far, but I love it. Not everybody does though, but it does. Kids are way louder than highways. Yeah. For all the parents in the room.
So on this picture page, further to what Darren said, like this, I guess it's the north side. It says natural fencing, which is trees and shrubs. So I guess there could end up being a problem there because like you say, the kids will just fly through the trees. So
Yeah,
if they end up on the neighbor's property, then there's going to be complaints.
well, and that's why we have that condition that it has to be fenced. So natural fencing wouldn't apply. So they would have to install that fence as per their permit.
Oh, so there would have to be one that runs along there?
Yeah, but
That natural fencing?
yeah, so and then that wall with the arrows, that's considered a fence in our zoning bylaw definition. Just the natural fencing, to my knowledge, is not.
But that area probably isn't big enough, I bet.
It's pretty big.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that's why we put the conditions on the permit that they have to meet. If the conditions are not met, then we revoke the permit. That's the process.
Yeah. Yeah. You just want to alleviate any potential complaints.
Could always put up an electric fence. That would work, Tim. Yeah. So any more discussions? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion is carried.
Perfect. One more for planning and development. So this is a parcel tie code removal for the lands that are adjacent the Pilot Butte roundabout on the west side. So across the street from the co-op card lock, that puts you in the right location. They're looking to untie the parcel. So the quarter section is split in half with that service road that runs towards the Arm of Sherwood. And those two parcels are tied together. They've asked to untie the parcels and for maybe future development or future sales, we're not really sure. The parcels are zoned AR. And of course, any further development in the future that requires rezoning or subdivision or any of that nature will come back to council and have the necessary public engagement. But right now, it's just to untie those two parcels of land.
For motions, we can discuss further.
That we recommend approving the tie code removal of Southeast Quarter 2017-18 Extension 16, surface parcel 204114800 from Southeast Quarter 2017-18 Extension 17, surface parcel 204114787, and authorize the Reeve and Chief Administrating Officer to sign the servicing agreement, with it being noted that the servicing agreement has been signed by the landowner. No servicing agreement fees are owing. The municipal reserve requirement has been met, and the application complied with the RM's official community planning and zoning bylaw.
Thank you. Discussion. Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
I think that's it for you, Paige. Okay, we're down to 13, RM business.
Okay, this first one is a building inspector appointment. Just make this bigger. Okay, so this is for council to appoint a new licensed building official employed by Professional Building Inspections. So council is required to appoint the building officials for the municipality in accordance with our building bylaw and subsection 16.2 and 16.3 of the construction code. Appointed building officials from Professional Building Inspections, or PBI, for 2025. And when PBI hires a new employee as a building official, they require the municipality to pass a resolution appointing that building official. So Chantel Terry is a new employee and holds a Class 1 licensed building, and is a Class 1 licensed building official. So once the resolution has been passed, administration will update the RM's list of committees and appointments to reflect the new building inspector.
Chantel Terry as a Class 1 licensed building official employed by Professional Building Inspectors for the RM of Edenwold.
Thank you. Slightly off topic, Karen, were we looking for another company to, other than PBI?
Paige, do you want to answer that?
Sure. Yeah, so we've been just reviewing options and doing a review of the region to see what other options are out there. For right now, for 2025, we will keep it as is, and then potentially when we appoint in 2026, there may be some additions or revisions to that approach, but Sean and I are working through that right now.
Okay. And could we have more than one company appointed?
Yeah, in the past, the RM did do 2 companies just due to timing of getting permits back. Like they were very overworked and slow. So we did hire an additional company to work on a certain specific group of permits. It didn't last very long, but there is an option to do that.
Thank you. Other questions, comments? All in favor? Motion is carried. EMO emergency plan position reassignment.
All right, so this is, we got direction or request from Councillor Kodlak to reassign her in the RM's emergency plan in the incident command system structure. She had requested to be moved from the safety officer role to a different role. So we've reviewed the positions. So we are recommending Councillor Kodlak transition to the role of planning, and Councillor Werner will assume the safety officer role.
Okay, looking for a motion so we can discuss further. Carmen.
That we approve the reassignment of roles within the RM of Edenwold's Emergency Plan Incident Command System, ICS, structure as follows. Councillor Kodlak is reassigned from the safety officer role to the planning role, and Councillor Werner is reassigned from the planning role to the safety officer role.
Thank you. It's very self-explanatory, but any questions, discussions? All right, all in favor? Motion is carried.
We will update your guys' emergency plans that we've printed off for you with the updated page. Okay.
Okay. 13.3 tax exemption bylaw 2025-13.
Okay, so this one is commercial tax exemption bylaw. The applicant meets the criteria under the RM of Edenwold's Economic Development Tax Exemption Policy. This is for Unit 74 in the New Horizon Industrial Park, which is north of Pilot Butte. The exemption will begin once the building passes final inspection and will apply for 3 years. The exemption applies only to the municipal portion of the property taxes and only to new construction of the improvement of the unit. So we're requesting all 3 readings of the bylaw at this meeting.
All right. Looking for the reading of for the first part, so we can discuss. Karen,
That bylaw 2025-13, being a bylaw to provide for entering into an agreement for exemption from taxation for Unit 74, Condo Plan 102-285-378, Extension 0, Southeast 6, 1818, west of the 2nd, in New Horizon Industrial Park, be given first reading.
thank you. Any questions, discussions? Okay, all in favor? Motion is carried. Looking for a second motion for second reading? Nicole,
That bylaw number 2025-13 be given second reading.
thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. And looking for motion to approve 3 readings at this meeting? Stan,
That bylaw number 2025-13 be given 3 readings at this meeting.
it needs to be unanimous, so clearly indicate your vote. All in favor? Motion is carried. And looking for third and final reading? Carmen,
That bylaw number 2025-13 be given third and final reading.
thank you. Discussion? Comments? All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay, 13.4, Karen.
Okay, so this is for council to acknowledge the notice of reduced employment insurance premium rate for 2026. So as per the Government of Canada website on the EI Premium Reduction Program for any employers, if you are an employer who provides employees with a short-term disability plan and your plan meets certain requirements, you may be entitled to pay your employment insurance or EI premiums at a rate that is lower than the standard employer rate of 1.4 times the employee's EI premiums. So the RM does participate in an approved short-term disability benefits coverage plan through SARM and is entitled to the reduced employer premium rate for employees. So the reduced rate for 2026 is 1.167 times the employee premium. We've indicated what they were for from 2025 back to 2022. Administration recommends council acknowledge the reduced employment insurance premium rate to receive the lower premium. For 2026. If we don't acknowledge it, then we'll have to use the standard employer rate of 1.4 times the employee's EI premiums.
Motions to discuss? Karen,
That we acknowledge the 2026 notice of reduced employment insurance premium rate of 1.167 times the employee premium due to the municipality participating in an approved coverage plan through SARM.
thank you. Any discussion? Darren,
I just have a question. So, is it just reducing the premium that the RM has to pay? But nothing changes on the insurance part?
Nope, that's correct. It's just you
Okay.
get a reduction in the premium.
Okay.
Yep.
It's all good then.
other questions? Motion is carried. Down to an expensive one, 13.5, WCRM 158 project money call number 13.
Yep, so we got the project money call number 13. So the WCRM 158 is requesting $729,489.93 from each municipality to meet the needs of the Phase 2 contracts. And this amount was approved at the November 3rd, 2025 board meeting.
Thank you. Looking for a motion so we can discuss? Stan,
That we approve the WTR 158 wastewater management authority project money call number 13 dated November 5th, 2025 in the amount of $729,489.93 to meet the needs of the Phase 2 contracts.
Thank you. Discussion? All in favor? Motion is carried. Okay. Oh, yes, we can do that. We'll back up to 8.1. We had a question on the list of accounts. Pardon me?
I don't have an answer yet. I'm running back the invoice with Brant right now.
Okay. So we can do a motion excluding that
Yeah.
check number. Could you bring up the check number again?
It's under the proposed payments right here. So we'll
Okay.
just that one invoice, we'll still pay the other one, or do we want to remove both? It was, sorry,
The other one's only 4,400.
same unit. I have that one here.
Hi, sorry, I got an email from Derek who just talked to Brant that said that they'll be crediting our account in the next little while for the amount that was quoted.
So
So they want it paid and then they're gonna reimburse? Is that, I
Yeah, yes,
don't know why they just wouldn't take it off.
me neither. And yes, this invoice is not very clear.
so
We
what,
can, yeah.
excuse me, what is the amount that they're going to credit us?
It's approximately $20,000.
I suggest we have a motion to accept the list of accounts, excluding that one until we get more information
Yep.
on it.
I'll go for that.
Does that work, Stan? Yeah. Okay, can you bring up that motion, Karen? You can just put on there excluding.
You would have to subtract that amount from the total.
$78,000. Yes, totals. Oh, just the one. Are we doing both? Oh, okay. I didn't add the both up. Sorry. Okay.
Clark? Never mind. Can you look at the list of accounts on yours and give me the total for Brant? Because it was just a proposed payments. See if I pin the total amount after. They're trying to calculate. Okay. Just have to fill in. Are you okay with that motion?
Okay, looking for a motion per the list of accounts excluding the payment to Brant. Stephen,
That the list of accounts consisting of check number 5604 to 5618. EFT payment number 492 to 495. Other payments number 320 to 333. Credit card payments number 27, and proposed EFT payments excluding proposed payment to Brandt in the amount of $83,097.35, totaling plus October 19th for November 1st, 2025 payment payroll totaling $61,953.31 be approved for payment.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Stan, it was a good thing you brought that up. So, comments, all in favor? Motion is carried. Was there any committee reports?
Wasn't there some other thing that we're supposed to go back to in the financial section?
Oh, yeah. Councillor Broad asked about with this cost, it'll take us over budget. So yeah, that wasn't included in the October financials because this was for November. So that line item will be over budget, but budget otherwise through the other departments or the other part of the department.
Do we have to acknowledge that report? I can't remember, did we?
We did, yeah. Okay, again, any committee chairs have any reports? Okay. Council roundtable. Darren.
I just have one thing. I just noticed that there's a lot of signs for companies all over, like at corners and stuff. And I don't know what the protocol on all those are, like, because they end up just either staying there or they end up just falling over and stuff. So I don't know.
I think he's talking about those little signs that
Yeah, you just
that
push them into the ground.
push in the
and-
ground,
yeah,
the small
like
ones.
For roofing or siding and, you know, all kinds of different companies there. There's
Would,
quite a few around, but
would they theoretically need permits?
They would need municipal approval to be in our road right of way. I just don't have the manpower to send people out to go pull them out of the ground, to be honest with you.
okay, yeah, no, yeah, because like they don't seem to come back and pull them out. So it's almost like littering too eventually, right? Or the snowplow will take them out or something, right?
Yeah, like normally we'll get like a request for someone to put their roofing sign in the ground and we would say no because you need our approval, and for public works it's just not ideal to have those little signs in the ditches and things like that. But then they go and do it anyways.
Yeah, and like I've seen them on people's lawns and stuff, which is, you know, it's okay because then the homeowner's responsible for that then. And I'm okay with that. It's just the ones that are sitting all at the corners and nobody ever comes back for them type of thing.
We can work internally to have public works pick them up as they drive around.
Okay, thanks.
Anything else, Darren?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you. Tim?
Okay, just to remind everybody, this Thursday, November 13th, is our EMO refresher course again. 6:30 the meeting is, and then 7 o'clock is when the course starts. It's going to be at the RM office again. And like I say, it was very well attended last time. I'm hoping that we have another good showing. Last week was a busy week. We attended the Emergency Planners Association convention, and they had a lot of good speakers there and stuff. Just touched on some of them. The Warman Fire Chief had reported that they had 507 fires in their area, and it was you know, with the different wildfires that were going on and different things, but they had lost that was 507 fires that were contained or whatever. We also had a Moose Jaw police officer. She had give a bit of a report on senior scams, and something that I didn't realize that scams that were basically targeted at seniors this last year has been in excess of $9 million for seniors that have been scammed out of different areas and stuff, which I didn't realize it was that big of a thing. And yeah, it was kind of a little depressing when she was talking about she had somebody very close to her that had been scammed out and was able to recover some of it anyways. And you know, so the message was that if you have some seniors that aren't quite sure of what they're doing and all of a sudden they have red flags of going and getting gift cards or something, you know, to help out one of their grandkids or a friend or something, you know, make sure you talk them and, you know, and I think some of the onus has to go into the banks too. That, you know, if somebody's coming out and taking out a whole bunch of money and a senior citizen or something, they gotta kind of, you know, talk to them a little bit more too. It's and that was the point that she was trying to make too with it. So and PA dispatch 911, they field over 350,000 calls last year. So I didn't realize that they had that many for Saskatchewan here too, and I thought that was kind of interesting with it. Realize that they have all these communities that they have to know all what's happening, everything. So when they do screw up, I guess you can't really, you know, blame them too much because they've got a lot of irons in the fire. So that's. Then after that, we went to the SARM convention. I had taken in one of the extra class things that I went to, and it was the LAFOLP, which is the Freedoms of Information Act one. Grace Henson is the head of that department, and she had she had 4 different case studies of what had happened in Saskatchewan and you know, what as far as the Freedom for Information Act went and everything, and she said a lot of it was, you know, deceit, dishonesty, and bad faith were the 3 main pillars in that thing, and you have up to 30 days to, if somebody wants something under the Freedom of Information Act, they have 30 days that they have to get it to them by law. And it was one of her first things she said was that she will not comment on any specific cases and everything. And of course, the first question was a specific case. She kind of looked at him, and the one I thought was kind of funny was the fella had asked, he's, what about drones? And she kind of had kind of a, you know, what do you mean? He said, well, if they're flying over my farm. Okay, well, can I shoot them down? So she kind of looked at him and said, I'm not going to answer that. You know, it's just, but yeah, it's again, you know, going completely off talk, but there was a lot of other very good sessions that I think probably more we'll talk about. I tried to attend as many as I can, and we tried to split it up a little bit so that we're going to different ones and everything too. And I said, if you can take something away from each one of these conventions, I think it's a bonus. And I took away a couple of things from the planners one, and I took away some of the stuff coming from the SARM one. So I think it's definitely worthwhile going to them. And that's it.
Stephen.
Yeah, I was with Tim at Moose Jaw there, and I took away the firefighters from Jasper. I actually spoke on the fires in Jasper, which was amazing how they managed to handle that one, and the north fires in Saskatchewan this year too. The other one was, we did a table talk, where we had a mock incident of something, but in that same time, in that same first one, there was another incident that happened with inside the one, which then now you're dealing with this one, which was more important, but you still have to remember that you got to deal with the first one as well at the same time. So very interesting on that part. SARM's convention I was at too. They talked about, Amanda, she was from SARM, she talked about different price values for equipment. There's a supply contract online that we can check for purchasing like graders and stuff as well too. And you can set up, she said you could set up a 3-year contract, say for gravel hauling, instead of going year by year. We could look into that as well. Probably save us a little bit there. So other than that, it was good.
One final thing I wanted to bring up, Christmas tree lighting. I just wanted to find out, is council wanting the popcorn and candy floss truck trailer here, not trailer, or what do you want to call it?
Not food truck?
Not food truck. Is that the consensus of council? Do you want it here again to give the candy floss and popcorn out?
I'd say yes, Tim.
I'd say yes too, and I'll help. I was thinking though, we probably for the season, maybe just do popcorn and not the candy floss. But food for thought.
Well, again, we found out once with cold weather, the candy floss doesn't keep as well. It gets the humidity, especially if it's a warmer day, it's got to get in a bag right away and stuff. So if we go that way, then I don't have to rewire my candy floss machine. We found out that we can't do both at the same circuit. So
Karen? Everything's good in your division? Yeah, all right. Nicole?
So I also attended the emergency planners and I also attended SARM one day. I actually have the stats that the lady from the Regina City Police presented to us and they are staggering. So I thought that I would share them with you. So year to date, they had 873 reports of fraud and ID fraud. 233 of those were victims over 60 years old. The most common types were ID fraud, online scams, and telephone scams. Fraud is overall up about 300% in Canada, and they reported, the Regina City Police reported that they were up 78%. And something else to note, the numbers are actually a lot higher. Only 5 to 10% actually get reported even. So it's pretty shocking numbers and the amount of fraud that's going on. So Lee, I think we could even raise that awareness here for our ratepayers.
Is that it? Okay, Stan?
Yeah, I also attended the SARM and found it very interesting this year. Usually it's boring, but this time it was much better. And the wastewater's on course and yeah, it's wrapping up for the season and yeah, that's about it. I know we got this one money call. It was a big one. I'm not sure if there'll be another one or not this year. I'd have to check with Teo when she comes back from days and also talk to Sarah about it. But other than that, everything's on course.
Couple of things. The haunted chambers were our first one was awesome. So thank you, Lee, Tim, and Al for attending. That was great. I'd really like it, Lee, if you would be able to at some point just share to the internally to what you videotaped there. I went to the Bright Communities open house last week, and if folks haven't seen it, White City put out a letter to its residents. It's on its Facebook page, so I think that's worth a read. Went to the SARM convention as well. The training really been amped up in terms of the quality. So super valuable sessions. There's actually a couple of things that I'll send to you, Karen, to follow up with. And just a question, where are we at with the redo of the audiovisual and chambers?
We're just gathering quotes. We got one so far, so we're waiting for 2 more.
And not sure if you can share with us, where are we at with the fraud remaining balance?
I don't have an update right now. Shauna can share that when she gets back.
I think it was 120,000, wasn't it? It's
Yeah, that was
120,000, right?
the balance owing. Yeah.
Anything else, Carmen?
Just something that was brought to my, 2 things brought to my attention by a ratepayer over the weekend. Pavers were parked on top of the pipelines. So so Dwayne, wasn't his job, but he fixed it. And then Jose, the Deer Run, the flags were being replaced because they were pretty tattered for Remembrance Day. So just FYI.
I had one question, boat flags. I should know the protocol, but I don't. Should our flags be half-mast for tomorrow? Does anybody know? I've seen some government buildings with them half-mast, yeah. Can you research that up and see? Because I did get a call from the rate
Google says yes.
about that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. So Clark, could you have one of your people take care of that for? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. And Karen,
I'd like to make a motion to go into camera to discuss long-term planning.
thank you. Motion to go to camera. Nicole? All in favor? Motion is carried.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor? Motion is carried.